Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh no, GMO mosquitoes. It's true. The U.S. military agency is investing $100 million in genetic extinction technology with mosquitoes. Here we go. The technology could be used to wipe out malaria, is what we're being told, carrying mosquitoes or other pests, but UN experts say fears over possible military uses and unintended consequences have strengthened the case for a ban. All right? Now, the U.S. military agency is investing $100 million in genetic extinction technologies that could wipe out malaria, mosquitoes. But the invasive rodents or other species, according to emails that have been released under the Freedom of Information rules and the Information Act. Here's what they would do. The documents suggest that the United States Secretive Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, has become the world's largest funder of the gene drive. Something don't feel right about DARPA involved with genetic modified organisms. No, you know it's for defense. It's going to be for military weaponry. The research will raise some tensions ahead of the United Nations Expert Committee meeting in Montreal beginning tomorrow. The UN Convention on Biological Diversity is debating whether to impose a moratorium on the gene research next year, and several southern countries fear a possible military application. Think about it. If you're living in Brazil, if you're Venezuela, or if you're Argentina, or you're Chile, or you're anywhere in Central America, South America, or parts of Africa where there's tons of mosquitoes, you are thinking in your mind, what if the United States, what if DARPA wants to take this genetic modified technology and use it as potential bioweaponry against nations that they feel could be in conflict with the United States? Or my bigger picture is this. It's population control, depopulation, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, United Nations Agenda 2030. It's called UN Agenda 2030, Global Sustainability. And the number one thing on it is there's too many people. Look, I was at a Mensa convention back in 2015. I believe it was 2015. It was in Louisville, Kentucky, in which I heard with my own ears professors talking about there's too many eaters on the planet. And then this guy said by the year 2030, we got to get the population down from 7 billion to 5 billion by 2030. And the very next year, it was United Nations agenda was Agenda 2030, global sustainability, carbon footprints. And here we go. And then we've already seen Google was involved and some others. Bill Gates and some others have already been doing genetic modified mosquitoes that were 20 million of them were released in California this year. Does anybody even know about it? And they were genetically modified to breed with the mosquitoes that were there, they said, to sterilize. In other words, it would sterilize the mosquitoes and then they wouldn't give any, the population would go down. Here's the thing. Is there any mosquitoes in California really? Very, very few if there is. Very, 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 very few if there is. So why drop 20 million of these into the system? I don't, look, UN diplomats are confirming that this new email release would worsen the bad name of gene drives in some circles. As a matter of fact, many countries will have concerns when this technology comes from DARPA, which is a U.S. military science agency. The use of genetic extinction technologies. Let me tell you what everybody's afraid of. We're afraid of our extinction, especially if you're a deplorable like me. And so Genetic extinction technologies in bioweapons is the stuff of nightmares. But known research is focused entirely on pest control and eradication. Then why is DARPA there? If it's pest control, then you don't need DARPA. Cutting-edge gene editing tools such as CRISPR-Cas9 work for using synthetic ribonucleic acid to cut into the DNA strands and then insert, alter, or remove targeted traits in the genetic system. These might, for example, distort the sex ratio of mosquitoes to effectively wipe out malaria populations. But some UN experts thought, and they're worried about unintended consequences. One told The Guardian, quote, "You may be able to remove viruses or the entire mosquito population, but that may also have downstream eco effects on species that depend on them." Of course it would. Look what's already happening to us now that our bees, the number of bees are so low. It's affecting the ecosystem. Look what genetically modified organisms, look at the corn and the wheat and all this genetically modified seed has done to the quality of the food that we're eating and the toxins that are in our body. Our body don't even recognize what we eat, and it stores it as fat because they don't know what to do with it. It's toxins that are then causing the cancers. But then again, that may be part of the global sustainability Agenda 21. And then throw in a few chemtrails and a few other bio attempts, genetic alterations to our food chain. And next thing you know, we've got a disaster. So just throwing this out there for you. They start their conference tomorrow. Hope somebody stands up and waves a red flag. But in case the diplomats are more focused on partying in Montreal and heavy drinking and a lot of hangovers, I thought I'd just go ahead and the night before the convention up there in Montreal, I thought I would just wave the red flag. Well, matter of fact, I'll wave the red, white, and blue flag. But I'll wave the red flag, okay, that we don't need DARPA creating genetically modified mosquitoes. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right.